Hello and welcome to another CatholicMom.com CM Hangout. We're so happy to be here with all of you today. Sorry we're a little bit behind for those of you who are trying to watch us live. We had a few technical difficulties, but all of us are here now. I think we can all hear each other and see each other, so hopefully everyone who might be watching can hear us and see us too. So welcome. My name is Erika Marie, and I'm really happy to be here with my co-host today, Deanna Bartalini. Hey, Deanna.
Hello, hi everybody.
Thanks for joining and co-hosting with me. I think we did this together maybe once, so it's nice to see you again.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
Yeah, and today Deanna and I are excited to welcome our fellow contributor at CatholicMom.com, a guy this time. We're really excited. We've got Lance Rosen. Welcome, Lance.
Thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
hope everyone's doing well today.
We're so happy that you got to join us, and we were just talking before the show that we've both been kind of rescheduling and had to kind of work around different schedules. So thanks again, Lance, for making room in your time to be able to join us today.
Thank you for being so patient with my schedule. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I think just based on what I've seen of your writings at Catholic Mom and other places, I thought, oh, this definitely will be fun to have this guy on. So I was willing to do that. So, and we don't get a lot of. Yeah, we don't get a lot of guys on our Hangout, so...
Which is weird, right? Because it's Catholic Mom, and you think that guys would be flocking to write for that site.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But it's cool. I don't know. I think it's awesome. I love it. Just having a male perspective in things, but...
Yes. Well, we need male perspective for sure. As you probably know this already. Sometimes us moms can get a little bit crazy.
No comment. I'm smarter than that.
Well, that's good.
That's good. That's good.
Nice
so young and so smart already.
Yeah, that sounds like you're way ahead of the game. So that's great.
Wise beyond my years.
Yeah. So, Lance, you are about ready. I was trying to look over your bio. I can't remember now. You were about ready to have a child, or you guys
we actually had, his name is Caleb Brent, and he was born November 26th, 2015.
Okay.
So he's just over 5 months. Yeah, he's awesome.
Wow. Well, that went by really fast.
I know, he's huge. I could show you. You want to see a picture?
Yeah.
Of course.
He's pretty much the cutest baby you've ever seen. But I'm kind of biased that way. Where are we at here? There he is.
Oh. Let me put the screen up bigger. Oh, that is really cute.
He's very
cute.
He's very cute.
I mean, that's biased, but I mean.
No. What did you say his name was again?
Caleb Brent.
Brent. Ooh, that's a cool name. Yeah. Well, congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you.
So now you are a CatholicMom.com dad.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think CatholicDad.com is taken, so.
Yes.
Maybe that'd be a good brother site to Catholic Mom.
Yes. Well, we are really happy to have the dad perspective, and honestly, CatholicMom.com might say mom, but it's a family affair for sure.
Exactly.
We like to talk a lot about family and, of course, motherhood, but we're hoping to make it be all-encompassing of the Catholic family, the whole experience. So what brought you to CatholicMom.com?
Oh, wow. I don't know if you heard of. Did you hear of Pious Posers? That was my old blog site.
Yes.
Back in the day, a couple of years ago, and I reached out. It was one of those things you don't get it unless you ask, kind of thing. So I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Lisa Hendy because I saw her in what year is that? 2008 or 2009 down at RE Congress, and I was really inspired about online evangelization. And I started the site, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to reach out. I'm going to tweet her and just see what happens, because she's this big name in the Catholic Church down in the States. And I'm from Canada, by the way. And so she's a big name in the Twitter sphere, Twitterverse, and Catholic blogging.
Twitterverse.
Yeah, the Twitterverse. You can use that. I didn't make that one up. And so I reached out to her, and we just back and forth, and she kind of has become a mentor, not like a full-time mentor, but whenever we chat on Google Hangout every once in a while, and I throw ideas past her and everything, and then she would put out this request for interns last year, And I was like, I could do that. I could try to do that.
Yeah.
And so I offered, and the rest is history. It's just been a really blessed opportunity for my life, and just being a part of the community has just been awesome.
Yeah, well, I know Lisa has been extremely appreciative of you guys and all of us, just all the help that you've given her with the website and everything that you've done, and it's just a really cool way that you just reached out to her like that. And I love that you refer to us as the States, and I had forgotten that you were from Canada, so thanks for reminding us. You know what, Deanna, I think this is the first time that we've had a guest from Canada. So
international.
Yes.
Ooh, hey.
And where are you in Canada?
I'm in Alberta, right above Montana.
Okay.
Oh, that's a beautiful area. I mean, isn't all Canada just all beauty?
Yeah, it's very diverse as far as the geography goes, but we're in the prairies, so I guess you could liken it to like Montana or Wyoming. We got the Rocky Mountains going through it as well, but I live in the flat, bald prairie, which is cool.
That is cool. I live in a flat prairie too. I live in Kansas.
There you go. See, it's probably the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably as pretty, but we have our like simple beauty that I really appreciate. So. And
just to dispel any myths, I don't have a dog sled, and I am currently residing in a house, not an igloo. Just to clarify.
Yes, you haven't gone that far north, have you?
Yeah, right. No, it's summer. Our igloo melted, so we had to build a house. But
there you go.
Yeah, that's funny. Gosh, that would get a little tired and have to do that every year.
Yeah. I mean, snow's free, though, so.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point. You save a lot on mortgage that way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, it's been really good to have you part of the community, and we like to play a fun little game on our Hangouts just to kind of get a little icebreaker in and get a chance for the guests to share a little bit more about himself. And so Deanna is going to lead us in our random question of the day. So take it away, Deanna.
All right, so as I'm sure we are all aware, Pentecost is coming on Sunday. And so I, like probably most of everyone else in the Catholic world, are praying the novena for the 7 gifts. So I will enunciate the 7 gifts and tell me which one, if you could get the most of any one of them, which one do you want the most of? Wisdom, understanding, counsel, knowledge, piety, fear of the Lord, or fortitude? Which one?
I'm a fan of wisdom.
Okay, how come?
I just like, and this isn't supposed to sound egotistical at all, because it's really not. But
and we won't take it that way.
Thank you, and good thing we preface this. But no, I just find some people in my life sometimes come to me for advice or just to talk about things, and me becoming a teacher, I'd love to have the most wisdom I could have, that to impart, not only to just impart the wisdom for wisdom's sake, but have the wisdom to impart it like properly and in a way that will, even with evangelization, to be able to reach the audience, not just randomly spitting out posts every day, but to have the wisdom to know what the audience needs, where they're at in their spiritual life, where the flock or your classroom or your children or whatever, to have the wisdom to know how to go about doing that in a way that's good for them. I think that's what I would like about that.
That's a good answer. You passed.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Sweating, pressure.
No pressure. It's just a game.
Yeah,
Even though I don't have on my special game show host jacket, it's still a game. So,
how about you, Deanna? Which one would you choose?
Oh, let's see. I'm going to go with understanding, because I deal with people all the time, parents, because I'm a director of religious ed. So sometimes.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. So you have to not only know what to say, but you have to you have to understand what is it they really need from you. Because often what they say, the question they're asking, is not really what they want to know the answer to. They want something else. And then to be able to do it, to answer it gently, with compassion, but still speaking truth. It's pretty close to wisdom, but, that whole idea of being gentle with people.
Yeah. Exactly.
they're all such wonderful fruits. I can't choose one. I'm very bad at choosing favorites. So it seems like the immediate answer that most moms especially kind of joke about is patience. And of course there's always a joke like, well, don't ask for patience because then you'll get it, which it was kind of, I joke it too. That it kind of bothers me like, well, of course you're going to ask, if you pray for something, you're going to get it. Isn't that why you're asking for it?
Yeah. Well, they say that like God doesn't give you patience; He gives you opportunities to be patient.
Yeah.
Which I think people are scared about, because then there's just more opportunities to fail if that's what you're scared of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
I think becoming a mother prepares you to be patient because you have to wait 9 months, and the whole waiting to give birth, and sometimes it seems to take forever until that child is going to be born. So I think that gives us that leg up on patience, as it were.
Oh yeah, my wife is way more patient than I am. If I get up in the middle of the night with Caleb and he's screaming bloody murder in my ear, I start praying because it's all that I don't get mad, but I'm like, wow, I have so much admiration for you, to my wife, and all mothers, because like just to sit there and just out of love just take that. I know you're not mad at me. I still love you. Like, let's calm down, kind of thing. But I think it's easy for anyone to fly off the handle, but haven't done that yet, which is good.
That's good.
The
Wait
Lord
till
is
he's
teaching
15
me
at
patience.
least.
I was going to say, you've got some time. I think the thing about patience that I've learned, though, is that I've thought about what it really means, because I tell my kids a lot, like, well, what does patience mean? And whenever I'm telling them, I'm trying to kind of, listen to myself, my own advice. And for me, I feel like it's more of an acceptance, like accepting how things are in this moment or this season, and like just kind of surrendering to it and trusting in that what is in this time. Like practical examples, sometimes people pray for their house to sell, or a child to act a certain way, or whatever it is. And I really had to learn that I have to kind of be where I am now and wait for that resolution to come whenever it comes and however it comes, which usually comes differently than the way I want it to, and at a different time. So
pretty much.
So you're saying you didn't stick the St. Joseph statue upside down in your backyard? That's not what
no,
isn't it
never
the front
tried
yard?
or whatever it is. It's different in different regions.
Yes,
Canada,
I know.
front yard. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah. So I like what you said, though, about just those times where we have to take our kids and just comfort them. And now, most of the time, I'm not patient. I just want them to stop crying right now so that I can go back to sleep. And it takes a lot of accepting, which is very hard to do in the middle of the night when you have gotten no sleep already and you just really want to sleep. But that's a fruit of the Holy Spirit, to be able to take those moments and say, okay, this is where I am, this is what I need to do. So that was a great question, Deanna.
Thanks. It was inspired. Bye.
By the Holy Spirit?
Yes, exactly.
Hey, it's working, man. Novena's working.
That's
there
right.
you go.
Very good. Well, before we get into talking about our main topic, I'm losing my headpiece here. I wanted to just take a quick break to thank our sponsor for today's CM Hangout. We have Sarah Reinhardt. Has been an awesome, loyal sponsor, and she has supported this CatholicMom.com CM Hangout since the get-go. And I just want to thank you, Sarah, if you're listening, again, for sponsoring this show for this episode in May in honor of her book. I'm going to get it out here so I can make sure I say it the right way. It's Word by Word, Slowing Down with the Hail Mary. And if you haven't read it, Lance, have you had a chance to read it at all?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, it's a really great book. It's kind of just it's written by, I think, 40 different writers, and they took each word of the Hail Mary and they write about what each word means.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. Even words like the can have a significant meaning. And it just kind of shows how I'm kind of a grammar nerd. I'm not very good at it, but I really love how grammar even points to God sometimes if you
Mm-hmm.
really look at it. And so
Yeah.
I love how her book, the writers, they really pull out each word of that prayer and show how meaningful it is. So as you're reading the book, you can kind of read it while you're praying the rosary and maybe just meditate on that one word. I've used it in many different ways just to kind of, you can read it from cover to cover, you can do it like a daily devotional, whatever it might be. It's just a really simple but very effective and impactful book. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. And thank you to Sarah again for sponsoring all of our, not all of our CM Hangouts, but the ones that you've done each month. So, all right. And let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of looking at my notes here, making sure I didn't forget something. So today we were going to talk about the online evangelization, and I know that's something that you're really big into, Lance. And I'm really interested to hear more about your silversmith collection. Am I saying that right?
Collective, yeah.
Okay, so I've heard it, and I kind of tried to read about it before we were going to meet today, but I don't think I'm going to really understand it until you explain it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing how do you describe the silversmith collection?
Okay, so it's a silversmith collective. Sorry, that didn't come through. It's a Catholic new media collective answering the call of the new evangelization. So I just felt like we have like 13 or 14 contributors so far, and I always had a different view, not view, but I don't think I fit in sometimes with the traditional Catholic circles. Maybe my sense of humor is different, or I don't feel, not to knock anybody or whatever, but to feel like holy enough, or things like that. I think we all kind of deal with that sometimes. So I have a group of my friends and people I've met in ministry that kind of share the same vibe, or that share the same kind of outlook on things as I do. And I kind of likened it to a Catholic island of misfit toys, like the people that, I don't know, a bunch of us have the same kind of outlook, and really not afraid to be real and authentic in our writing and in our work online, and whether it's posting like a blog or a video or anything like that. And so I also really struggled a lot with the holier than thou feeling what sites, and everyone is talking about this perfect view of Catholicism and this perfect view of life, how you should be, whether like becoming a saint or anything like that, like almost like an unattainable thing. Everything was how you should operate and how you should act. But when I kind of went down this road, I wasn't seeing a lot of people sharing about how they failed, or sharing about how they failed and what they learned from that. And one of the first posts that or one of the first ideas that spawned this was, I was coming out of the university and I held the door open for somebody and they didn't say thank you, and I was like, wow, that's rude. Like, how get a load of this person, And then I was like, wait a second, why do I need to be thanked for that? And then I wrote a post about that, and just sharing like, okay, today I failed. This is what I learned from it. I grew closer to God from that, and just being it's not all about failure, but really just not being real and authentic, and kind of wearing our hearts on our sleeves when it comes to that. There's some contributors. Sharon Line shares about her journeys with motherhood and how they're really tough sometimes, and talking about maybe some like depression stuff that could slip in, and things like that. Like really being real. Like, this is who we are, and the Lord came to save everybody, or He saved everybody, and He doesn't care if you're broken, because there's beauty in brokenness. It's so cool to finally admit that you're broken, because then you don't have to put on this facade anymore, and you don't have to spend all this energy trying to convince people you're perfect. Just be you, and that's kind of like
that's too much pressure.
It's true, and the name comes from, I think it's Malachi 3:3. It's he sits as a purifier and refiner of silver. And as I was kind of doing some research on that verse, I found this parable by an unknown author that talks about this women's Bible study, and they're really diving into this verse, and they wanted to know what a silversmith does. So this lady goes and speaks to a silversmith about what he does, and she said, so how he sees him sitting there, and in the verse it says he sits as a purifier and refiner of silver, and he sees the silversmith actually sitting and watching intently, and she said, why do you sit? And he goes, well, if the silver is left in there for too long, or if it gets too hot, then the silver can be hurt and ruined. And okay, cool. And then as she goes, and she said, well, how do you know at the end of it, just long story short, at the end of it, she says, how do you know when the silver is done being purified? And he said, when I can see my own image and my reflection in the silver, then I know it's good. And so the Silversmith Collective is just inspired by that, and trying to put content out there that allows people to like purify, or bring them closer to God, or encourage them to hit the sacraments more, and that kind of thing, so that we can become that image in the world. So there's the little blurb.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm enthralled. This is amazing. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so. It was. Yeah. I don't know. I can't believe that, right? God sees you, sees His image in you, and that's what we're all trying to be, is an image of Christ, right? We're made in His image, and it all just kind of works. So we just went with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That's very good. Yeah, I looked around the site a little bit earlier yesterday and a little bit more today, and I see that you have like different sections, different people contribute to different areas. Mm-hmm. So it encompasses a lot.
Yeah. At first we were trying to, because I'm a teacher, and a few of our contributors are teachers. Well, I'm becoming a teacher, I should say, and a few of our contributors are Catholic teachers as well. So I really wanted that Catholic education piece, and coming down the line in the future, I want to have a Catholic Ed podcast and some video stuff, and more of a concentration on that in a certain area of the site. And we talk about things like dating and relationships, and Catholic education, youth ministry, real life faith things that happen to everybody. You know what I mean? And just kind of trying to hit everything.
Yeah,
that's how my brain works.
I liked your sorry to cut in. I looked at it yesterday night. The featured video, 7 things every new Catholic should know. That's hilarious. Yeah. I actually only got through a little bit of it, and then I had to close the computer because it was time for bed. But I watched the one where there's a new adult Catholic. He's been newly baptized, and he's got chrism on his head, and so he goes into the church. And I'm sorry if I'm giving this away.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Okay, and so he goes in the church, and then these 2 other people come in, and they like start kind of smelling his head.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we do to babies.
Yeah.
It'll go away after a few washes, but you might have to put up with some people smelling your head for a little bit.
Yeah.
It smells so good, though, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I was at a baptism 2 weeks ago, and the mom's like, you want to hold the baby? I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm holding the baby, and I'm just sniffing his head. And we're all Catholics, so nobody thinks I'm strange. But like, if you're just in a random place, people would probably wonder, why is that woman smelling that baby's head?
Yeah.
But it was very nice. It's very soothing.
That's funny. Have you heard of this like Catholic beard balm stuff?
Yeah. Tony Vicinda and I think Matthew Marchand.
Okay.
Catholic beard balm. It's awesome.
I heard, and maybe you can confirm, that they have, that it supposedly smells like this chrism.
It does. Actually,
that's hilarious.
This is kind of a cool tie-in. The priest in that video, if you watch further, there's some about confession and how face-to-face is, while an anonymity is cool, face-to-face confessions can be like better.
Okay.
The priest who plays that role, Father Lucas, who's from Lethbridge, where I'm at, he ordered some Catholic beard balm, and when we were shooting that video, this is kind of cool that this came up. I was like, did you buy some of that beard balm? He's like, yeah, you could smell it. It's chrism. Yeah, so it's cool.
Oh, that's funny. That's really.
And they nailed the smell too. It was awesome. It's
good. Really?
Yeah.
That is funny. That's very funny. So, all right. Well,
I know. How do we get past
We
that?
should do a Catholic mom hangout about smells, bells, and whistles of Catholicism.
Definitely.
You know,
God's cologne, right? God's aftershave and incense and all that stuff.
so it is kind of fun. What? So, how did you get into online evangelization? You mentioned a little bit meeting Lisa Hendy at the Religious Ed Congress. I'm assuming the one in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so how did you decide though to do online evangelization?
I don't know. I've always been passionate about technology, and I've always been passionate about blogging and just sharing. I just think there's so much darkness in the world, first of all, but there's so much darkness online. Like there's a ton of just filth, and if I can contribute a little bit of light into that, like it's basically doing what we're called to do in the world, but in a computer, in this world, right, in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that idea just still fascinates me, that I could put something on and someone because it expands your territory, right? Like that prayer Jabez, right? Like it totally expands your territory and someone in wherever, Australia, could read my post and be totally inspired and to go back to confession or something, whatever it may be. And I don't know, it's just so cool to me that you can do that. And using new media and the new technologies and using YouTube and stuff like that, I think, yeah, that's definitely the future. Well, it's the now. It's not the future. It's the now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you deal with young people and with kids in school, and they don't really like to listen to you, and they don't really like to read necessarily. But put up a YouTube video, or you know, when you deal with really little kids, they love those Lego Bible stories, and you know, just things like that. It captures their imagination. So I think all of the things that we can do using online resources is really beneficial. And like you said, totally to be a light, because there is a lot of darkness, just a lot of darkness. So just being a light out there.
Yeah, I think it's so important, because that's where our youth are living, right?
Absolutely.
Like they're living obviously in and around us in the world, but like Mark Hart talks about how it's a screen-based culture, and it totally is. The screen comes on and boom, they're there, right? And so if you can grab their attention through that media, whatever they're into, and like not even Facebook anymore. It's all about Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram right now. But if you can use those to attract, or to just we're just responsible for sowing seeds, right? God, and watering them. And if we just keep sowing, then we'll have no excuses. Or
This is true.
What we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Facebook is definitely it's a mom thing.
Yeah.
It's true. It's such a great way to communicate and plan things. So I think
It's true.
that might be why. And we can just vent about stuff. But I really like what you're saying about, the online world is so dark, and you're just trying to bring some light to it. And I just think this is a really good example of how God wins all the time. Whenever there's any darkness, somehow, some way, there's a light. He finds a way to bring a light to it. And I remember I was in grade school, or probably junior high school, and I was laying in bed thinking about this and like all the possible scenarios that could happen, and like, well, God can win with that, and God can win there, and God can win here, so he just always wins. And you take this online world, which you're right, there can be a lot of filth. I love that word that you used. But even in this world, through the Holy Spirit, because he's inspired people like you and all of us, all of us who are here who write for CatholicMom.com, the reason that we do that is so that we can bring a little bit of God's light into this place where people already are. If they're going to be there, let's meet them where they are. And I like how you pointed that out.
Because, basically, and I've given a couple talks or PD sessions and stuff about online evangelization, and my biggest point, just like in youth ministry, the ultimate youth ministry program or scenario is modeling it directly after Christ's way of ministry. Christ met people where they're at. We've heard it all before. He met people where they're at. He dined with sinners and prostitutes, and we've heard that line over and over and over. And so if we model our ministries in the world after Christ, why can't we model it, our online ministries after Christ too? Like, why can't we be like, there's Catholic things on Reddit, and I remember when I first started, I proposed this idea. This was a couple years back. This Catholic Youth Ministry Network conference in Saskatoon. I proposed this idea of like, right, Snapchat was this, right, it was brand new, and people were like, oh, you got to get kids away from Snapchat. And I had this idea of, well, why can't we use Snapchat for good too? Like, you can edit it so people can't, or your settings so people can't send you stuff, and you have to approve it. There's security, and why can't you Snapchat a picture of a youth ministry poster, youth night poster, or don't forget to bring this to youth night, or whatever. And why can't we shine light in that darkness too? And I had a couple people come up to me after and be like, you got to be careful, man, because Snapchat, and then I heard it all, which is fair, and those are valid concerns. But if you do it, I mean, people were probably saying the same thing about Facebook, and the same thing about Twitter, and the same thing about the internet, really, when it started. And so we have to be careful, and we have to be vigilant, and we have to be diligent. What was that? We have to be
digital.
We have to be digital and diligent. That's what I did there. But we can't be afraid to cast out into the deep either, right? And walk on that water, and trust that the Lord's going to protect us. But we have to be prudent in what we do as well. But
yeah, well, I think that I like that the church is always very good at, with the fruit of wisdom, the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, kind of looking at what's going on in the world, what's popular, what's the tools, how can we, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of not go along with the world, but
utilize them.
Yes, utilize them. And it's really interesting. I mean, the way things are going, 5 years ago I told my husband, one of these days Facebook's going to have channels. And they're probably going to listen to this. It's my idea, just saying. There's going to be people's channels where you can say, hey, I'm going to click on Lance's channel, and there's going to be a live feed of what you're doing, and we can basically spend our whole lives watching other people's lives, and because that's kind of what we do anyway.
Yeah.
And so then they came out with that, Periscope, and now Facebook's doing this live feed thing. Yeah. And my husband showed me that they have a contact lens now that has a camera in it. So, I mean, the world is not slowing down. It's just going to get more and more and more. People seem to be really obsessed with other people's lives. So we might as well, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that if that's the way it's going to be, let's utilize that to show people God. So.
And exactly. And that's where it's going. And whether, there are things within that area that probably shouldn't be happening. There's a ton of stuff. There's evil out there, and like I said, filth, right? And that can be a big bone of contention for people, and a big deterrent from technology. And you hear a lot of people just speaking against the whole thing, and that's not where we should be going and all this stuff. But that's just where it's going. So we have to kind of, we're going to hop on the train or not, because it's leaving, and we can choose to embrace that technology and embrace where kids are at. And it'd be easy for someone to say, students shouldn't be so enthralled with technology, they shouldn't be always on their phones, they shouldn't, and should on them. I said should on them. and I think it's easy to do that, but that's just the way it is. So we have to just embrace it and try to work around it, and maybe call them back to a life that's not so dependent on this stuff, but at the same time we can meet them there too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and I think that for me, what I've kind of been thinking is, when you're trying to make a decision of whether you should or shouldn't do something, trying to ask yourself, what fruit can come out of this? Can the good fruit come from this? And I think with online evangelization, I think that the danger is that people see that as an end. That this is where it ends. But if we can take our interactions that we have online and somehow make that lead to a real personal connection with God, Himself in the flesh, by somehow bringing people to the church, to the Eucharist, to each other, I think that's where online evangelization becomes successful. For example, this girl reached out to our parish through our parish website, or our parish Facebook page. She's new, moved here from another state, and she's looking for a mom's group. So we passed her on to our mom's group, and she came to our meeting, and we got to meet her in real life, and she came to the church. So, just things like that you're like, okay, see, connecting the dots, it's working, as long as the end goal doesn't stop on the screen, but takes us actually to the flesh himself. So
exactly, as long as, I think when it stops on the screen, I think it's because it's more about us than about the vision, about bringing them to Christ, and Matt Nelson, I don't know if you've heard Matt Nelson, he's an apologist, but he and I were talking yesterday about how, like, even with blogging, it can be so easily become an ego thing and become about me and how many views did I get? Did someone, how many tweets, how many likes did I get, And we laugh because our young people do that too. They're, I got a lot of likes on this Facebook post, or like stats are a big thing for them.
yeah.
And then we kind of, don't worry about that as we're checking our website stats and as we're checking, how many hits did I get, And so it can weave its way in there really easily. We got to be careful too.
I had to give up looking up stats for Lent one year.
Really?
So,
that's awesome.
And you know what? I haven't gone back to doing it. Only every now and then will I check it, and it's so freeing. It's so freeing. So.
That's such a good idea.
That's funny.
Right.
I don't even look at. I manage my church, my parish website at work, and I have Google Analytics on it, and I don't even look because I think, you know what? It needs to be here, and hopefully people utilize it, and I keep it up to date, and then you just go with it. Because in the end, if people don't come and darken the doorway, then we really haven't done a very good job with our online evangelization. Everything you're doing, everything we're all doing, they're tools. St. Paul had some papyrus, and we've got computers. We just got to do what we got to do with what we have. And so, but it is ultimately to invite people to a personal relationship, because just because somebody reads your blog or retweets your tweet doesn't mean they know Jesus.
That's true.
The purpose.
Yeah. So, I have really enjoyed. Oh, sorry, Lance.
I just said she nailed it there. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy our Hangouts because I feel like I've gotten to know some of our contributors better, because we've all just kind of write, we do our own little writing, and then we're done. But I feel like my goal with the Hangouts was to kind of unite our group closer so that we remember that we are all real people and we're all in this together. And so it's been really fun getting to know everybody from all different parts of the country and now Canada. So.
Yeah.
I know. Wow.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I really enjoy getting to talk with both of you, and Lance, I really appreciate all the work that you're doing. I think that you are definitely living out the call of Jesus, to go out there to all nations through, casting your net wide through the web, like you're saying. And I think you're a great inspiration to those of us who are trying to evangelize and bring Christ to people and hopefully bring others to Christ. So thanks for all the work that you're doing, for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much for that. That really blessed me. I really appreciate that, because it's one of the, I just feel like I'm just doing something that's fun, and so that really means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
And I also, just to say, I looked at your website, so when you have a chance, I know Erika will put Lance's website in the show notes, but take a look at it. It has a lot of really good information, and not only for parents, but also send it along to your favorite Catholic school teacher or your favorite DRE or youth minister, because they need to see some of that stuff too. So sometimes they don't always get to see the best stuff, so pass it along. That's always a good way to help people see what they need to see. So I really liked it.
Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Lance, can you share with us how people can connect with you?
Yeah, you can go to silversmithcollective.com. My Twitter, if the lower third thing, I don't think it's working.
Yeah,
but it's no. Well, I think that's just Google's problem.
Yeah, we'll just blame Google.
It is a Google problem.
Yeah, it's not our problem. At Lance_Rosen, Rosen. All our social media links and stuff are at silversmithcollective.com. Big thing we're working on right now is we started a YouTube channel, and I got a couple content ideas, and got some lighting, and I got a space at one of the local parishes to set up a studio. So that's coming down the pipe soon, hopefully. If being a dad and a student teacher doesn't get in the way, but yeah, just silversmithcollective.com. You'll see all of our stuff there.
Oh, cool.
Great.
That sounds good. Great. Well, I think we could probably continue talking like forever about all this, but we probably should take a break. And I think the best way to start and end anything, of course, and to live anything, of course, is with prayer. So I have asked Lance if he could please lead us in the closing prayer. So go ahead, Lance.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Holy Spirit, we welcome you here with us. We know you're not bound by space or time. We just ask that you be with us and everyone watching, Lord. Please bless our efforts. Please continue to be with us and inspire us and lead us where you want us to go, because that's ultimately where we need to be. Please remove the scales from our eyes of anything that is self-serving, that we may just serve you, Lord. And please bless everyone who's out in the field, the laborers out in the field of this online evangelization, new media, and please guide them and inspire them to continue on when it gets tough, and when there's backlash or when there's negativity or whatever it is. Please bless whoever is going through that right now too, and we just give you all the glory for all of the stats and the clicks and the visits and the likes, and we just give all that to you, Lord. And we're so thankful for this opportunity to serve you in this way. And Mother Mary, we ask your intercession for this whole movement within the church, this whole way of evangelizing, as we pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much again for sharing. I know we didn't get into a lot of details about tips and strategies for how to evangelize, but it sounds like really looking at what you're doing is a great way to learn by example. And I love what you said in your prayer, that we can give glory to God for all of the likes and the stats and everything. So
I think it's important to kind of allow, just to give that up, and as long as we model our efforts after what Christ did, we'll be fine. And don't say anything that's against church teaching. Obviously, that's a big one. But
yes, well, my battery is at 5%, so I'm going to have to end it.
There you go.
Yeah. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Deanna, for co-hosting with me.
Welcome.
And we have one more CM Hangout next week. Lisa Hendy, Lisa Hess. We'll be talking about writing novels, and then we're taking a summer break, so that I can kind of disappear for a little bit, and then we'll come back in the fall. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.